Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I am sharing with you 5 brand new Assetto Corsa mods that you gotta check out. We got some super cool stuff on today's list, from some buggies and dirt tracks all the way up to some classic sports cars. Before we get into it, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my second channel, JC Racing. If you want to see some broader sim racing content besides just Assetto Corsa mods, that will be your one-stop shop for it. You can find it down in the top link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right on to the first mod on today's list. And that is the Jidé, one of the two 1600S. This is a super cool little almost Ford GT-esque looking car back from 1972. This thing has 157 brake horsepower, 167 Newton meters of torque. It weighs 640 kilograms. It is made by the French, though, as you could probably assume by the name. This was inspired, like I said, off of the GT40, and this thing was relatively successful. It finished 7th overall at the Certanium des Creneves. I am probably 7S. I don't know, French is hard. It's this, I'll put it on screen, you could correct me in the comments, but it is a very cool looking, very interesting sounding car, and it's very nicely modeled here. This is made by R Noir over on Race Department, and I highly recommend you check it out. You can find it down in the link in the description below. Next up on the list, we have Hamburg Harbor. This is a Race 07 conversion by Shin, and the original track was made by NetEye. This is a 4-kilometer long or a 2-kilometer long track around the Hamburg Harbor. It's got 42 pits, so pretty much any kind of grid you dare to throw around here, you will be able to do. It's pretty full of 90-degree turns. However, there are some nice chicanes and sweeping corners around the track. So overall, being in a freight harbor, it is not a bad fictional layout, and the modeling is very nice. You have all of the containers around, as well as the big cranes that unload the containers off the ships when they pull into port. So a very interesting track. Kind of reminded me of that fictional harbor track in R Factor 2 that they used for Formula E, which was just in R Factor 2. Obviously, it wasn't a real Formula E track, so that's why I use the Formula E cars for this. Kind of gave me that inspiration, but a very interesting track for pretty much whatever you may want to throw around here. You can find it down in the Race Department link in the description below. The next mod on today's list is the ProPulsion S2 Junior Honda K20. Honda K20 being the engine that is powering it. This is made by X4/Smacks over on Race Department, and this is a pretty crazy little dirt buggy. You can also drive it on the road. 215 brake horsepower, 211 Newton meters of torque. It just weighs 560 kilograms. It is a 2-wheel drive being powered at the rear, of course, by that Honda K20 engine, and it is a very well detailed mod. In fact, it's actually pretty well detailed that it actually gives me some frame drops when I'm using it with AI. So if you don't have the best computer, do be warned about loading up a grid with a ton of these things. But it has a lot of stuff modeled with the suspension and the fuel and everything like that. So being a freeware mod, especially if you're into these kind of little buggy cars for Assetto Corsa, this is definitely going to be one you're going to want to check out if you haven't already. You can find it down in the link in the description below. And the next mod on the list goes right along with the ProPulsion S2. This is St. Georges de Montaigu. I hope I'm saying that right once again. It's another French name. It is a 0.9 kilometer dirt buggy track that these buggies race on in real life. This is made by Masirba and Smacks once again. It's over on Race Department. It has 18 pits for the online layout, and for the AI, it has 12 pits. However, no matter how I tweaked the AI, it never really worked out very well. So I would probably just save this for hot lapping or online, unfortunately, unless there is an update to come to make the AI work, because they pretty much crashed into every wall there was, which I don't blame them, because I did half the time as well, recording the gameplay for it. But regardless, a very fun track nonetheless. These are very unique here in Assetto Corsa, and it does have the dirt physics tweaked to where the kind of spray from the dirt, it wouldn't be called spray, but you know what I'm talking about. That effect is much reduced in this layout, thankfully, so you're not going to be absolutely blinded while you're driving if you are racing against other people. You can find this down in the link in the description below. And the final mod on today's list is Silverstone 1991. This is an R-Factor conversion once again by Shin. It is 5.2 kilometers long, and this is very similar to the 08 layout, just little differences here and there, and of course the trackside details are quite different as well, being decade apart. But it's still Silverstone. It is still the old layout, and a very good one. I kind of miss the Silverstone layout. I think the modern one's probably better for F1 because it's got, you know, more high-speed straight to tight braking zone into a tight turn and a hairpin. But this one's a lot more fast-flowing, of course, going under the infamous bridge, and it is very, very well made as well. And this is a fantastic addition to your Silverstone collection if you did pick up that 08 layout as well. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Again, be sure to check out my second channel, JC Racing, if you want to see some broader sim racing stuff. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.